everyone? Welcome back to this episode of OTA Clips and the first of March Madness. I'm Griffin Senyek, joined by my co-host of Outside the Arena, Mac Rommel. And March Madness kicked off in a big way today. A lot of crazy games, 2 overtime games so far. We're filming this at 8:38, so not all the games have been played. We'll cover the rest of them on tomorrow's episode, but we do have to get this out, and we want to film it now. But there are some games going on right now as we speak. Oklahoma State, Liberty are in a close finish. That'll likely end while we're filming this. But we're going to touch on all the other games. But first, we have a very special treat for you guys today, and something that is very exciting is going to be in the thumbnail of this video for sure. We're opening an NBA Top Shot pack. Mac himself was able to secure one of these rare all-star packs. I don't know if we have to say it, but for legal purposes, this is his dad's pack. His dad paid for it. His dad approved all of it. But yeah, this is his Top Shot pack. We're going to open it open. Mac's going to make money. We're going to see how much. He can make a ton of money. So we will see what happens. But if you want to share the screen, Mac, I'm on the auction house as we speak as well. So I'll be able to give for each card a rough estimate of what Mac is going to be making with this. But I mean, yeah, let's just jump right into it if you want to rip this bad boy open. And yeah, let's get going.
Let's do it. Let's open it.
Baby.
Here we go. I have to thank Griffin for the put on. Of course, I wouldn't have known about this without him. So I gotta thank Griffy.
The music is tight.
So
all right, so let's start from the bottom. I think the top left should be. I can't hear over the music, but all right there. I think it should be blue. The color. Yeah, can you mute it maybe? Yeah.
Fine. I can see it. So this volume stuff is not
all right. Guess we're rolling with it.
Can I talk?
Yeah, that's good. I think that's good.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
We figured it out.
We got it out. All right. So just go over all the cards. Don't click on any of them, but I think one of them should appear blue if I'm not. Yeah. Okay. So that's your rare one. So let's open all the other ones first. You can pick whatever order you want.
All right.
We're looking for LaMelo here. We want LaMelo Ball. It's a little laggy for me. Common, a Montrezl Harrell. Okay, let me look that up. I'll give us an accurate price. Montrezl Harrell. We're gonna go lowest ask. That's going for $14 on the house right now.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Second one, 3-pointer. Jaden McDaniel. Oh, out of 4K. That's good. That could be big. That could be big.
Let's see. This could
the official assessment. $230.
So we just made back what we put in.
No.
We just made back what we put in.
Making bank.
Number 3. All right,
okay, that's probably not going to go for that much, but I'll give you a price. Oh, $60.
$60. So we're making profit.
We're making
profit. All right. Fourth.
Duncan Robinson. Let's see. $10.
$10. Solid.
All right. 2 more and then the big boy. Leia. Goran Draft. I think this is another cheap one. Just make sure you don't open the good one yet. Yeah, $11. But you pulled that 230, so
yeah,
you're chilling.
So
let's see if Hornets, LaMelo. Another Montrezl.
So
all right. So we want Team LeBron. We want. I'll actually before we do this, I'll filter. I'll go to the sets, and I will. I'll pull up right now what some of these good ones are going for. So minimum right now, which, you know, the market is a little low right now, but Mike Conley is the worst one you could get. $355 is the minimum this card can go for. So you're guaranteed to make big money. If you can pull, you know, the ones that are going for a lot right now, Zion, Luka, Steph, and LeBron are all guaranteed over $1,000.
Okay, so that's what we're hoping.
So, and those guys, I believe, 3 of them are Team LeBron. So we want to see Team LeBron.
LeBron. All right. Do we open it up? Do we
Let's
reveal
rip it, baby?
Oh gosh, here we go.
Team LeBron. Oh, Rudy Gobert. A good cereal would be good though. Oh, the cereal $17.67. That's still gonna be good money for Mac.
It's long.
Let's see. Rudy Gobert on the auction house right now,
Oh, wait,
396. So not the worst you could have done. I expect that to go
I don't know
up in
why
value. So if you hold it,
I saw Lakers. I thought
you
it was
should
LeBron.
be good. What did you
No,
say?
I thought
Oh, it lagged. Fuck.
profit on this. All thanks
There
to
it is.
Griffin
All
for
right.
put
Well, it
on.
was a little
And
laggy, but I don't know if you want to repeat what you just said to the viewers because I don't have
so
to
it,
hear it.
this is all thanks to my boy Griffin. And I
Right.
think there's gonna have to be something new we have to do on here every single time an NBA Top Shot pack drops. So
For
we're gonna
sure.
thank Griffin for this, and he's got to get at least 50% of all profits because of the put on.
There
So
you netted like 400 or 500 bucks there. That's pretty solid.
yeah, I'll take it any day of the week.
Exactly.
Any day
So
of
with that, we can jump right into March Madness. And I think it's only right we talk about the first game of the day to start, which was a thriller, an overtime victory for Florida, 75-70. A really good game to start. I know we were both watching this one. So I'll
Yep.
start with you here, Mac. I mean, what were your thoughts on the first game of March Madness? I mean, it was a thriller. Maybe some things you liked that you saw, and expectations potentially for Florida moving on in this tournament.
Yeah, this was great. I mean, Florida, they came out, and even though they were at one point, they were down 10, excuse me, they were down 10 points. They fought back and they did what they had to do to win. And this is all without the preseason SEC Player of the Year, Keontae Johnson. And they're still putting up numbers like this, and they're still getting wins in March Madness. So that's what you want to see from Florida. You had players like Colin Castleton, who had 19 points and 14 rebounds. But Virginia Tech, in the end of regulation, they scored the 3-pointer to tie it up with about 1 second left and send it to overtime. It didn't pan out for them, however, once it got to overtime, and they held Virginia Tech. Well, this Florida, they held Virginia Tech's number one scorer during the season with 15.6 points per game to just 7 points this game. So Florida, they were able to shut down Virginia Tech's top scorer, and they really came back and fought back for this win.
Yeah, I mean, great win by Florida. They came back, like you said, and to me, this one you gotta. There's really one name for me, and that's Colin Castleton, the center. He played such a good game, was so dominant, was great at the free throw line, was getting rebounds on both sides of the floor. Like Max said, put up 19 points, 14 rebounds, and he was just the key to get going. Obviously, you have the strong duo of Trey Mann, Scotty Lewis. Those guys are known. They shot the ball pretty well. They had 29 points combined. So you look for those guys. And Trey Mann, obviously, that huge shot. In the end of overtime to make it a 4-point game, I believe. So he played great. But you look at the difference for me, and for me, this is an interesting stat. But Virginia Tech had only 5 players that scored, and I know Virginia Tech only really had 6 players in their rotation, or I guess they had 7, but one guy played 2 minutes, one guy played 9 because that's kind of foul outs. So they're really playing their starters for most of this game, which is interesting. I don't know if that's something they normally do, to be honest, or what the deal is, but I mean, they're only really having their main guys going while Florida's kind of keeping it more rotational. I mean, you see like 3, 6, 7, 3, 6, 7 guys get 14 plus minutes on the team. So I don't know if Virginia Tech just got tired. Obviously, you see Naheem Alline. I don't know if that's pronounced right, but he scored 20 points, played great. And they only made what, like a 7 3-pointers, something like that. Florida made 5, so it really wasn't a big shooting game. Just Florida, to me, really dominated in the paint here. You saw the big man himself also, Anthony DeRugio, missed some big free throws, but he was playing good as well. Yeah, but I really think this one, Colin Castleton, looking ahead in the schedule, I believe they have a very tough matchup next. Oh no, they're going to actually play the 15 seed. What's it called? The 15 seeded team that beat our Ohio State Buckeyes today.
Oh boy.
Oh my God, what's the name?
Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts.
Oral Roberts. I can't load the games for some reason right now, but Oral frickin' Roberts. And yeah, that was
You heard of them? Nope. So
not what I was looking for today. But yeah, I mean, good game from Florida. They've now got a potentially good, easy matchup. Potentially not easy. Oral Roberts is a very good shooting team, but a much clearer path to team than facing potential Ohio State at 2. Moving on to the next game, we'll touch on Ohio State. We're just going in order right now.
Yeah.
Arkansas Colgate. This was a really interesting game. I don't know how much you caught of this one, Mac, but Arkansas came out slow. This team was down by, 15, 14 points at one point in this game. They were really down. Colgate shot the ball really good, and I think that was what kept them in this. I mean, you're looking at the stat. I'm looking at the stats right now. They made, it looks like 4, 8, 12 3-pointers. I've never seen more white guys on one team. I'll be 100% honest. These guys, just white guys coming from everywhere. They were all making their shots, and it was really, really good to see. But obviously, Arkansas, just a better overall team. And we saw that at the end of the first half. They kind of started to dominate. They got the fast breaks moving. It's actually funny. I was watching the game in class, and every time they got the ball, I would always joke because I have them going pretty far in my tournaments or in my brackets. And I would always joke, I'd be like, oh, best transition team in the country. Watching this, just, having fun saying that every time the ball they would lose. It was hysterical. It's the funniest thing. But yeah, they really got to go into the end of the first, and then the second, they kind of got it on cruise control. They had a little stutter at the beginning of the first, but obviously credit guys like Justin Smith in this one, 29 points, 13 rebounds. He had a fantastic game. Jalen Tate as well, 15 points. A guy who didn't play, as well. He only shot the ball 8 times. Moses Moody, their really star player, 12 points only. So we'll see what he can do potentially in the rest of this tournament. But good win for Arkansas. They got tested early on, but they ended up winning by 17. So they proved they're still a great offensive team and that they're able to beat these teams like Colgate, who a lot of people thought could maybe upset them.
Yeah, I think you said that perfectly. Especially, I think this is a team they're gonna have to look forward to. And as you said, you have them going far in your brackets. And I think what's special about this team, you saw them. They, of course, as you said, they were down big for really the majority of the first and the start of the game. And they were able to fight back, and I think that's what you want to see out of teams that can make it far, a team that can fight back. And really, they were able to shut down Colgate and their high scoring and high powered offense later on in that game. And I think that's what's special about Arkansas. They can put up a fight no matter what part of the game it is, no matter how far down or how much down or how many points they are down by, and they
Yeah.
could still fight back and they could put up points and then they could play some defense. As you said, I think Justin Smith really took over and took control of this game. He had 29 points and 13 rebounds. So the Arkansas Razorbacks are going to be in a good position for some of their upcoming matchups.
Yeah, I thought it was a strong win, and they'll look to continue their success. I forget who they're scheduled up next, but now Ohio State's not on that side of the bracket. So again, some of these teams might have an easier chance with the Buckeyes loss. Now moving on to, I believe this is I have no idea where this is in the bracket. To be honest, I should have pulled the bracket up, but Illinois Drexel. We really don't have to touch on this most. It's just Illinois just being a fantastic basketball team. Looking at you guys got like Kofi Coburn. 18 points, 5 rebounds. He's a stud. People are saying he's the Shaq of this tournament. And obviously their superstar player, Io Dusunami. That's incorrectly pronounced, but that guy is he's a monster. 17 points, 11 boards, 6 assists. He's great. This team has got great shooters. I mean, they've got shooters. I mean, everywhere you look. I mean, Adam Miller is a shooter. I don't even know what this team. They're just all around very good player. Trent Frazier, another one of those guys. I mean, they've got a bunch of shooters. There are a bunch of lefties on that team too, but it's what you expect from the 1 seed here. Strong performance from Illinois, and you expect to see the Fighting Illinois continue to advance. They got a nice matchup with Loyola Chicago, which we'll talk about in a brief second, but strong win for the Fighting Illinois, and we'll look to see that continued success throughout the tournament.
Yep, Illinois with a great 78-49 win over Drexel, of course. And I really think from the start of this game, you saw Illinois take over scoring points and really stopping Drexel right out the gate. Drexel really had no chance to get back into this game after they started. Well, that is Illinois started getting hot. It was basically no chance. And even coming into the game, there really wasn't that much of a chance. And I have to give a little warning for all these names, so we don't have to keep on saying, I'm not sure if you pronounce this name right. We're just gonna go with how I was saying Tadas. Pretend we're talking about that for now with all these names. Or we may pronounce them, but we're going to try and say them with confidence. And with that, I'm going to say this guy's name in confidence. Kofi Cockburn with 18 points. I mean, he really carried Drexel, and you had other guys on this team. Like, I don't even know if I can pronounce this one. Ayo Das Unmo, however you pronounce it. He had a great game, also putting 15 points. I mean, these some tough names. I can't believe I messed up Tadas, but these are ones I really should be messing up on. But Drexel, they couldn't shoot well, and their leading scorer Xavier Bell had 12 points, but really he was 3 for 12 when he was shooting outside of free throws.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you expect from this team. We'll see if they can continue. Just got some breaking news on the phone. Philip Lindsay is a Houston Texan. Interesting
Ooh,
move there. Houston is beefing up on running backs. They now got him, David Johnson, and who they signed another guy, right?
who was that?
I believe they brought in someone else.
What's that? I can look that up. Um, let's see. Running. Excuse for the awkward pauses. Those on Apple and Spotify, but let's
Well, I don't
see.
know if this will be on Apple. Maybe we'll put it on Apple. We'll see.
We'll figure it out. Oh yeah, this is OTA Clips. So you guys who are watching us with the awkward silence, excuse us. Excuse
People are
us.
watching.
Oh, Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram. Yeah, that's a weird running back. Maybe that means David Johnson. I feel like that might mean they're moving on from David Johnson.
Yep. I mean, and if he even is playing, I mean, he's likely going to be your third back. I think Mark Ingram's a little bit better than him right now.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a tough situation for David Johnson going in the future.
Well, we'll touch more on free agency and all that on our normal episode of Outside the Arena, which we still got to film this week. But moving on to the next game, Utah State, Texas Tech. Texas Tech took care of business. First half was a little shaky, but the second half got their offense moving. They scored 42 points in the second half of this one. And, they're led by their star, Mac McClung. He's, a great player, transferred from, I believe it was Georgetown or something. I believe it was Georgetown. 16 points, 3 for 6 from 3. And that's what you expect out of this guy. He's great. Terrence Shannon also played a great game, played 10 points, 3 assists. You look at Kevin McCullough, 10 points, 7 boards. I mean, this team it's pretty all around solid. Utah State was a potential upset. Justin Bean played pretty well with 13 points, 8 boards. But, they made 4 threes for Utah State. And, they couldn't get the shooting going. I mean, you look at Texas Tech made 7. I know 3 points are not crazy in these college games necessarily. But, Utah State just couldn't keep up the pace in the second half. I didn't watch much of this game, if any of it, to be honest. So I'm kind of just looking at the stats. But Texas Tech, good 6 seed, and we'll see what happens from here on out in the tournament. I believe they might be playing Arkansas. I believe that might be the team that plays Arkansas.
I'll have to check that out in a little bit. But Utah State, they put up the good fight in the first half. As you said, they were leading 26-23. But really, for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, they put up a good fight. And I think they were really consistent throughout this whole game defensively. But offensively, after the first half, you really saw that surgence of the offense where they dropped 42 in the second half after only scoring 23 in the first half. And you had players like Mac McClung putting up 16. And something I've kind of noticed as we've been going through the stats of these teams, you're not seeing many people really scoring the ball, but you look at Texas Tech and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different guys were able to score points in this game. And I think that's something that they're going to have to keep on doing and continue in the future, where they're going out and playing some of these harder teams. But for Utah State, they were solid in the first half, and defensively, they kind of struggled once it came to that second half.
It's that time of the podcast where we got to touch on it.
Oh,
Oral Roberts.
Do we have to? Do we have to?
We do. Versus the Ohio State Buckeyes.
I mean, just looking at these stats right away, it's just painful. It's just painful.
Here's what I'll say. Oral Roberts is a fantastic shooting team. They made, 11 3-pointers today, and their 2 best players really paved the way, and that's Kevin Abenar and Max Abmas, who is, their star. He's one of the best scorers in the country. These guys, they don't miss. They were shooting from all over the place. They made it when it counts. And this team from the free throw line, I believe, is the highest shooting team in college basketball. And that shouldn't go unnoticed. You saw that today. They make their shots when it matters. These guys are, they did it. And at the end of the day, Ohio State, you look on the flip side, they just didn't have it today. And I'm going to blame this one on Dwayne Washington. Dwayne Washington was the reason they lost today. EJ Liddell was a guy who in the Big Ten tournament was not at, his best. He was suffering a little back issue today, but he fought through and he played a great game. 23 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. He had a fantastic game. You look at some of the other guys that they need to play. Suing, this guy didn't really do much, 7 points. Kyle Young was not playing. That's going to hurt them, and that did, I truly believe. CJ Walker played pretty good game, but Dwayne Washington, I don't care about the 18 points. I don't care about the 10 rebounds. This guy's supposed to be a leader. He's supposed to be one of the best players on the team, if not the best. Obviously, Liddell's a stud, but this guy's supposed to be one of the better players. This guy led the team in the Big Ten tournament. He was making all his shots. He didn't miss against teams like Michigan, Illinois, even he was hitting all the clutch shots. And today, 7 for 21, 3 for 12 from three. That's the story of this game at the end of the day. They missed a bunch of free throws as well, but 3 for 12 from three from Dwayne Washington hurt them. You can't be shooting 25% in a meaningful game when a team is out shooting you. It just can't happen. He had that buzzer beater attempt to end the game, to potentially win the game in regulation. Obviously missed that. And then from there was just shooting bad shots in overtime. And it was just very frustrating as a fan to watch. I know Mac was in the car, so I don't believe he watched too much of this game, but it was just a frustrating loss. They had their opportunities. They just didn't play good, and they got burned for it. I mean, they had guys fouling out. I believe Musa Jallow fouled out. Justin Ahrens might have fouled out as well. I mean, it was just frustrating. It was a frustrating loss. Oral Roberts, credit to them. They shot the lights out of the ball. They played great. But Dwayne Washington, this one is on him for me.
Yep, 100%. And this really isn't a performance you would want to see out of the Buckeyes. A team that was a Final Four contender at one point. A lot of people thought they were contenders for the Final Four at least. They did not show up today. They did not perform as expected. They came out and they lost to Oral Roberts, the 15 seed, a 15 seed.
It's just funny hearing that. That 15 seed beats the 2 seed. It's just
just unheard of. And I mean, a lot of you guys, even if you're not a Buckeyes fan, we all know you're probably pissed about your bracket. So you could thank Ohio State for ruining that. But Oral Roberts, they went to half leading by 3. In the final minutes, they were still behind, but they ended up being able to tie the game and eventually came out to win it. And then, of course, as you said, Max Admis, he was able to score 29 points, and Kevin Obanor, however you pronounce it, was able to score 30 with 11 rebounds. So
that was great. That guy had a fantastic game. That guy was
just having two
was shocking.
Just having two players that put up basically 30 points each essentially on one team against the 2 seed, and this from the 15 seed Oral Roberts. It's just not what you want to see and not what you would expect. But really, it was the Ohio State Buckeyes and their mistakes that cost them this game. As you said, the Buckeyes, they shot poorly from 3, and I think really what killed them is they had 15 turnovers.
It's unacceptable, dude. It's unacceptable the way they play. I mean, you look at the team stats, 50% from the free throw line. What is that? That's incredible. That's horrible. I shoot better than 50% from the free throw line. I mean, 21% from 3. I mean, you look at the difference, 77.8% from 3. Field goal percentage, it just doesn't matter when they're shooting that lights after the line, and 31% from 3. I mean, they played great, and they had 10 less turnovers than Ohio State. I mean, it's just a frustrating loss. Ohio State gave Oral Roberts the game at this point. I mean, Oral Roberts played great. I'm not trying to take that away from them at all. That is not what I meant by that. But when they're turning over the ball 15 times and you're not making your free throws, you gave them the game.
Yep, this was a game really, I think, dictated by Ohio State and their turnovers and their all their mistakes and everything that they really messed up on. This was more of an Ohio State loss than it was a Oral Roberts win for me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't discredit. I don't want to sound, salty. We're not discrediting Oral Roberts. They won this game and they played fantastic, and their shooting was incredible. But Ohio State did make a lot of mistakes. But you obviously can't, they weren't shooting well. That's not Oral Roberts' fault. Whatever. We're moving on to your Baylor Bears now.
The one game I was super excited for. And I didn't
I'll let you take over for this one.
I didn't even get to watch my own school play because I was in the dang car without the Wi-Fi with the Baylor Bears, as expected. They came out, they won 79-55 over the Hartford Hawks, 1 seed over the 16 seed. It's basically really what was expected. The Bears, I was actually able to catch the first few minutes of this. It was just foul after foul for the first 2 minutes. I mean, I forgot who exactly it was, but they had 2 fouls in 2 minutes and just one player alone. But you saw a lot of guys came out today and played great. Masio Teague with 22 points and 4 rebounds. But Matthew Mayer, kind of a little underrated performance with his 9 rebounds and 8 points. So the Baylor Bears, it's really a consistent team and great team overall. You're looking at the amount of guys that got involved today, scoring the ball and getting rebounds. It's just incredible the amount of guys that were able to get involved. But for Hartford, I liked what they did in the first few minutes of the game, but of course it died down really quickly after that. And they weren't able to control the clock. They weren't able to score points until it really came to the second half where they were able to score points. They scored 34, but defensively they gave up 42. So honestly, Hartford, they started playing well. they started to dip off a little bit later in the game defensively. But a player on their team who actually played pretty well is Austin Williams. He had 19 points, 7 rebounds, and Tracy Carter with 11 points and 9 rebounds. That really was a good performance by them for the Hartford Hawks. And overall, in Baylor, this is what you would expect in a really consistent team and really well-rounded team. And the Baylor Bears got the win today.
Baylor Bears did get the win today. And, I'm looking at the scores now. Purdue is on upset watch as we speak, and Wisconsin is going to close out the victory against UNC by a blowout. So UNC will not be advancing. Purdue, 9 minutes to play, down 5 while we're filming this. Oklahoma State just won as well, so they are moving on. A few more games we got to touch on, though, and then we'll wrap this up because we don't want this to get too late. Real quick, Loyola Chicago, Georgia Tech. Good to see Loyola Chicago back in this tournament after that amazing run they had as, I believe, an 11 seed a few years back. What's her name? Sister Jean back in there. She's fully vaccinated, ready to go, 101 years old. Such a great story. And I'm glad the Loyola Chicago Ramblers won this one. They're going to have a tough matchup next week or whenever they play against Illinois. You look at this game, you look at some of the key players, Lucas Williamson, great game. This guy, I believe this might have been a career high for him, 21 points, 4 for 7 from 3. They shot the ball great. Braden Norris as well, 16 points, 8 assists, 4 for 7 from the arc. I didn't really watch much, but I know Georgia Tech was a little shaky on the defensive side of the ball here. But really just Loyola Chicago. They believe they were down 10 kind of to start the game. They didn't really come out of the gate too hot, but they got it going and they really scored efficiently from then on out. So good win by the Ramblers, and excited to see where they go from out here. And, I'd love to see them beat Illinois and make a run again.
Yep, 100% Loyola team. Everyone was thinking could do something in their March Madness brackets.
Magic again from them.
I'm going to keep saying it. It doesn't matter what Loyola did, and whoever thought that was correct, you messed up on Ohio State, and Ohio State screwed you. So I'm sorry to all you guys whose brackets were ruined by that again. But Loyola and Georgia Tech, I'm looking at the stats right now, and I think this is an area that kind of made a difference offensively. You're looking at 3-pointers. Georgia Tech, they only shot 10 and they made 3. But you look at Loyola, and they shot 27 and scored and made 11 of them. So I really think that's an area that Georgia Tech could have improved on, should have shot more threes and try to get some more points that way, but they didn't do that. And then you're kind of looking down at some other stats, and another stat that jumps out at me is the fouls. Georgia Tech had 19, whereas Loyola only had 9. So of course that's going to make a big difference in points scored and things like that. But you're looking at players for Loyola: Lucas Williamson, 21 points, 6 rebounds. Braden Norris with 16 points, 3 rebounds. So this team was really well-rounded, and a lot of people made the right decision in choosing them to win this game versus Georgia Tech.
Yeah, good matchup there. Really interesting one here. Oregon State, the 12 seed, beats Tennessee, the 5 seed. That was super interesting to see. Didn't catch any of this game, to be honest, so I don't want to touch on it too much, but just looking at the stat sheet here, Oregon State, some good performance, all really good performance here from Ethan Thomas, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Again, didn't really watch much of this, so I can't talk too much about it really, but really it just seems like Tennessee just kind of fell apart in the first half, and the second half, Oregon State just matched them. So good win by Tennessee, and, or a good win by Oregon State, and, looking at it, they shot 47.6 from 3. And they made, I guess they made a bunch. They made like 10 threes. So really good job by them. And poor shooting day for Tennessee, 33.9% from the field. That probably is going to cost you here. And that's kind of all I got. They got out rebounded as well, but not by too much.
They did. Oregon State, they came out and they got the upset here over Tennessee, as you said. And I think Oregon State really came out and was able to win this because of the first half. They played so well defensively, only giving up 19 points to Tennessee in that first half once again. In the second half, I liked how you said it, how you phrased it actually, and how they were able to hang in there and really just stick with Tennessee for that entire half. And that's really what was able to get them the win here. Oregon State, they had a lot of good players here, putting up over 10 points. They had Roman Silva, Ethan Thompson, Jared Lucas. So a lot of names there that are going to be good and key for you guys down the line and trying to get some wins here. But Tennessee, on the other hand, they really kind of fell apart in that first half. Weren't able to get anything going until it got to that second half, and that's really what screwed them there. And I liked how you pointed out about the 3-pointers, how Oregon State, they shot 47.6% compared to Tennessee's 19.2. So Oregon State, a great win for them, and let's see if they can keep the ball rolling in their next few games.
Yeah, I know we're not, we're talking about games that we have seen 0 minutes of, but we're trying
Well,
to do our best for you. Tomorrow will be a lot better. We both were a little busy at the end of these games today, but tomorrow, 100%, we'll probably have some guests on as well for tomorrow's as well. So if you want to, come on, also just, comment and we'll reach out. A few more games that we got to touch on, and then we're going to wrap this up. Oklahoma State, I do want to touch on. A lot of people loving Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, from the stat sheet, I watched 0 minutes this game. Unfortunately, I was out doing some driving, but 3 for 14 from the field. He really did not have his best game, 2 for 8. But you look at a guy like Avery Anderson III, and this is what I've said about Oklahoma State. If these other guys surrounding Cade Cunningham can step up and play big, this team is going to be dangerous. Avery Anderson, 21 points, 7 rebounds. Played great. Cade Cunningham, still a good game, 15 points, 5 boards, but you expect him, arguably the best player in the tournament, to be a little better than that. But not his best shooting game. But if the other players on this team can, hold their own and play strong. But for Oklahoma State, and shoot the ball very well, 20% from 3. They turned it over less. Out rebounded, but just a hard fought win. It looks like from the stat sheet, they didn't really shoot. They shot overall better, but from the free throw line, they weren't better. From 3-point, they were a lot worse. So looks like Oklahoma State. I have no idea what happened, but it looks like they had a hard fought win. Good job to Avery Anderson, if I'm going to shout him out. Liberty fought hard, and probably player on there and that played the best was Elijah Cuffey, 16 points on 4 threes.
Yep, Liberty played great. They scored 30 points in both the first and the second half, and I think that was good. If they put up a few more points, this obviously would have been likely a closer game and even possibly a win for Liberty. The Oklahoma State Cowboys, that first half, they only scored 27 points. They were actually down going into half, but the second half, they had a resurgence, and they dropped 42 on the Liberty Flames, and they had some high scores, as you said. Avery Anderson III, who had 21 points, 7 rebounds, and then Matthew Alexander Moncrief, I think that's how you say it. He had 9 rebounds. So obviously rebounds have been key for a lot of these teams that are winning. You're having guys who can get a lot of rebounds to get the ball back for your team. On the other hand, for Liberty, you had a few guys that were able to put up solid points, but no one was really able to stand out. And Liberty, I think they were able to pull out a win here. They would have been able to hang with some of the other teams in future games, but I don't think they would have been able to pull out a win. But Liberty put up a good fight, and as you said, you really don't know what you saw from Oklahoma State from the 3-point line, only shooting 20%.
Yeah, not too much more to say on that. We haven't watched these games, so I don't want to keep rambling on, but Wisconsin, North Carolina. Wisconsin with a 23-point win that just finished while we were here. Brad Davison looks like he played great, 29 points, 5 3-pointers. So really strong. Just seems like the Tar Heels came out a little flat-footed, only shot 38% from the field, 38 from 3, which is not bad, better than some of these teams. But, Wisconsin just seems like they were dominating. Won the turnover battle, shot 50% from the field, 83% from the line, 48% from 3. I mean, Wisconsin just seems like they shot lights out. So props to them, and Brad Davison led this team, it seems like.
Yep, they're able to shoot lights out for sure. And something I also picked up on from the teams that have really had the blowout and the big wins, you're seeing these guys who are getting above 20 points, and that seems to be the key for the blowout wins. In this game, we have Demetric Trice, who put up 21 points, and as you said, Brad Davison, who put up 29 points. But all around, Wisconsin Badgers, they were able to score high, get a lot of points in it, and they were able to hold North Carolina to only 62 points after a low-scoring first half for the Tar Heels with only 24 points in that first half, of course.
Yeah, so that basically does it. Houston is doing their thing. They're winning by 30, so we're not going to touch on that. Purdue right now down 7 with 5:40 to play. So stay tuned to that one. You're obviously going to see that finish before this airs. This will probably air sometime during the 9 o'clock range of games. But 4 more games today. We will talk about those tomorrow, as well as everything else on tomorrow's episode. But I'll let Mac wrap this one up. Definitely a fun episode. And we'll be back tomorrow and every day of this tournament.
Every single day.
We'll be just recapping the day. And tomorrow we will make sure to have more of these games watched for sure. I can tell you that for sure.
Yep, you guys are gonna have a double episode one day because we gotta get the regular outside the arena episode in too. So be ready for that as well. And as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe not only on this channel but our other channel on YouTube, Outside the Arena. And make sure to also go subscribe and listen on Apple Music and Spotify, a way you could listen while you're in the car if you don't have the availability, or it's not as convenient to watch on YouTube. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe on all our platforms. Also make sure to follow us on Instagram. My Instagram is mac.rommel. Griffin's Instagram is
Griffin Senyek.
And our podcast Instagram is Outside the Arena Podcast. As always, we thank you all for watching, and we hope you all stay safe.